Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chelsea Explained, as this is your match review of the Chelsea and Palace finishing 0-0, dropping points in our first game of this new season. And should we fans be panicking? Not really. It's the first game, the first day. I think we can only panic if there are gone like 8-10 games and we haven't seen any significant improvements. But we can learn from this game and improve on the things we desperately need to improve upon. And I feel like the main topic in this match review is going to be around that Palace exposed our flaws that is still remaining from last season, and that we need to fix them if we're going to improve and challenge for the Premier League title and catch up with the likes of Arsenal, City and Liverpool, and also win other trophies domestically, etc. And then we're gonna talk about some player performances and how the game went a little bit. We struggle with breaking down low blocks, and that has been a common theme ever since Maresca entered the door. City, Liverpool, Arsenal, they managed to break down these low blocks more consistent than we do. I feel like Maresca is very obsessed with having control, passing sideways, backwards, always taking the safety route more often than not. And Palace could easily sit back and just defend and cover the dangerous spaces because we were moving the ball too slow and we didn't take the risk when the opportunity were there, and we didn't have enough movement, rotations, combinations play when players were making underlapping runs into those dangerous half spaces. They didn't receive a pass. The pass went backwards to the centre back for the 17th time in this game. And I understand you want some bit of control of the game. I understand that, and you're moving slowly and you're forcing the opposition into submission, and then you're capitalizing on that and scoring. But I feel like we need to take a bit further more risk. We need to move the ball quicker. We need more movement from the players. We are very easy to read today. Now, Crystal Palace is a well-drilled side. They are fantastic physical and tactical condition under Oliver Glasner, and has a really strong side. But we're gonna face more of these opponents, and we need to find solutions. There were opportunities where maybe James could leave this makeshift back free and help overloading the right-hand side where Neto existed, where Enso Fernandez existed. We could have had them overloading that side, so we could have forced Palace to have more problems to worry about. Because they were defending so narrow and compact in the 5-2-3 shape, and they didn't have to worry about the flanks too much because the wingers were constantly isolated in 1-versus-1 situations. And when the wingers doesn't manage to get past their fullback in 1-versus-1 situations, our attack completely stagnates. We desperately need to take more risk, because I think Thomas Frank once said, not taking a risk is a risk itself. I mean, you're seeing how Pep Guardiola is evolving, how other managers evolving. Maresca is trying to do that as well. But I feel like he's a little bit too obsessed with having control. And we can of course blame the players. Some of these guys maybe are exhausted. Maybe we haven't had enough of a pre-season like we usually have. Absolutely. But this cannot be a common theme this season. This needs to be fixed if we're going to take us to the next level. And in terms of the lineup, we've put up unexpected starting 11 with one unexpected change where Josh Chimpong came in because Tosin felt something, which is not good. But we had Sanchez a goal, in our back four, we had James, Josh Chalobah, and Cucurella. Midfield, we had Caicedo, Enso Fernandez. And up front, we had Neto, Palmer, Gittens making his Premier League debut, and João Pedro up front. And we were utilizing this sort of 3-4-3 diamond Cruyff system, which I think is a fantastic idea because it means you're adding another player in the midfield for the opponents to worry about, and you can really take advantage and overload the central spaces. You will always be one more player than the opponent there, which causes them to have tons of problems. And I think there was some positive performances. I'm most happy with Cucurella and Caicedo. They were splendid today, like usually. James was pretty good as well. And Josh were coming in the absence of Colwill and Tosin, and playing as a centre-back in the middle of this makeshift back three. And he had an alright performance. I mean, he was a bit raw, misplacing passes that could have led to scoring opportunities. He couldn't break those lines efficiently like a Colwill could, but he was trying at least, which I really like. He was having problem against the physical, athletic, dominant striker in Mateta. And I think he had a decent game. And I think Josh Frimpong has a very good future. And I would love giving opportunities to centre-backs that we have here. But I don't know if he's going to be the one to start week in, week out in this middle centre-back role. I prefer being maybe as a wide centre-back in this makeshift back three. But, I mean, he's young, he's still raw. He's going to develop, of course. He's going to make mistakes. But can we afford to do that? That's a little bit of a question mark. Maybe you guys can answer on. Enso Fernandez didn't have the best game. I saw a lot of people were critical about him. But I understand why he had a poor game, because he's playing in a position and role that I don't think suits him. I mean, he can be a decent player in the half space, but I think he's more effective if he's utilized in the left half space, because that means he has his right foot inside the field and he has better angles to utilize his passing and vision and switch balls, which he couldn't utilize this game. I also think Enso Fernandez isn't mobile enough or has the understanding of when to move and make those underlapping runs in behind. He's too static in the half space roles, and the only time he moves is when he's dropping down to help in the build-up play. But if he's not making the movement, we need other players to do that, and we had that. We had Neto making runs in behind, and João Pedro moving into channels as well, and Palmer. But I feel like if Enso Fernandez was on the opposite side, he would have a better angle to play those passes. But this also comes down to Enzo Maresca. I always look at this. If a player performs bad, you have to ask why. Why? What is it that causes this? Is it the player? Is it a systematical problem? Is it a problem in their role they're playing in? You have to ask these questions. Maybe Enso Fernandez actually, he's a decent box crasher and can be dangerous higher up the field because you can utilize his passing abilities and his long range shooting, and he's really intelligent to making those runs inside the box, on cutback passes, on crosses. But is he someone that is dynamic and can move between the lines and the half spaces and behind the opposition back line like the other attackers can? I don't know. Maybe he suits being a deep line playmaker in a pivot. I don't know. It's a question mark. I have that as well. I mean, other players were pretty poor. Gittens didn't have his best debut, but I'm gonna give him some slack. It's his first game. Neto was decent. Palmer, João Pedro, not much there. I mean, as I'm saying, we're moving the ball too slow. There's too slow movement and combinations. We are easy to read and defend against, especially today. Maybe things are going to improve and look differently next game against West Ham. We had some substitutions coming on in Esteval. I thought Esteval was brilliant, using his flair and 1v1 dribbling, creating a few chances. I think he's gonna claim a starting spot sooner rather than later on this right hand side, and Neto maybe moves to the left hand side. We also had some other substitutes in Gusto, Santos coming in. I think Santos is gonna be a really good player, even if he plays in a pivot, but also if he plays in a half space role, because he's so versatile. We also had the Lap coming in, adding some energy. He had one dangerous opportunity. We had a few chances where we could have scored goals, but not enough big quality chances to win this game. That's what I feel. And Palace is actually a really strong side. Well drilled under Oliver Glasner. They're physical, they're balanced, and they are tactical equipped. They had a game plan they followed, and they worked. It worked. They nullified us. They had a few decent chances where Mateta could have scored. I understand why the free kick was disallowed, because Marquez pushed Caicedo like it was American football or like rugby. You can't really do that in football. But yeah, this is a common theme. I can't stress it enough, and it's up to Maresca to figure out and be a bit more confident in the players' abilities to take more risk and add another player to the flank or in the middle to make it even more difficult for opponents. I mean, tracking a player running from deep is really difficult. Imagine if we would have James coming up on the right hand side time to time. That would be so difficult for the opponents and to track him and mark him. Otherwise, I think we have improved a lot under Maresca, defensively wise, in possession, understanding the roles, the tactics, the different formation we can utilize. It's really only about breaking down low blocks now and being decisive in the final third and sharpening up our attacking patterns. That's literally it, and we are few signings away from completing our squad for the moment. Hopefully a Xavi Simons come in and maybe a new centre back. So we shouldn't really panic as fans yet. We have to give it some time, and let's not forget Crystal Palace has actually been in stunning form. Towards the end of the season, last season, they won the FA Cup, beat City, they won the Community Shield, beat the title winning side Liverpool. They are a strong team. They are going to be difficult to beat this season for any side. So I don't think we should panic yet. We should give it some time, and let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will happily read it. And if you're brand new here, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my page, hit that notification bell so you never miss when the content drops. And Chelsea explains out. Peace.